Thanks. Good evening to everybody, and thanks a lot, Udara. We'll not take a very major deep dive or neither look at it in a very complex way, but let's look at how software and tech adoption for organizations, right? And also look at how during the COVID-19 situation, how various organizations from common corner shop to CEB to banks, particularly industry in Sri Lanka, as well as comparing to software industry also, how much of an adoption they have made into technology and software, and how it has actually helped them to make best out of the current situation they are in. Right? So when you think of software and tech adoption, there are three phases that we kind of can break it down. One thing is how an organization reach the customer, right? So, and second is how the customer actually interact with the organization. Has that been adopted through software, and has the technology adoption taken place? Third is, of course, how the internal working or the business model itself has adopted software and technology. And so we'll just look at these three in detail. Jeremy, shall we go to the next slide? Right. As you can see, this is this app from CEB, right? So the first point, right, when how an organization is reaching their customers through tech and software adoption. So from a basic WhatsApp message, I think we got quite a few WhatsApp messages coming from various small and medium entrepreneurs from one stores to I think even large manufacturers also sent us WhatsApp messages asking us to call them and place the order. And that's how they reached the consumers in the current crisis because they didn't actually have a way to reach the customer other than a WhatsApp message. And this is the app from CEB. So this is the way that CEB reached their customer. So once you install the app, you will see the outage map, the interruption calendar, and your own electricity consumption. Right? So this is basic information to the customer, no interaction, just information from the business to the customer. Right? So there's one way direct. So maybe they in another such adoption, they might talk about what are the products they have. And another such adoption, they might talk about like upcoming alerts, things like that. Right? So that's purely one-way direction where they have adapted the technology. Uh, Jeremy, let's go to the next slide. Right. So this is how a particular software setup. Now I have given two examples here where they actually assisted common shop fronts to go online. So this is not only reaching out and telling, hey, these are the products that we have, but also providing a way for the customer to interact with the organization. Right? Here you can buy, like place your stuff into the cart and check out. Right? And this particular here there's a commonly known demo, and there's another group that is providing a facility for you to set up your shop online, a marketplace online. So there, the adoption is a little bit slightly internal to the organization, where the customer also can interact with the shop front. It could be a basic online form, right? Where I know a friend of mine who actually have helped a milk distributor close to my home in Nugegoda to get his orders collected through a Google form, right? For that guy, it was quite an amazing thing, right? Because he actually didn't know how to get the requests from his customers. So this guy, how to set up a Google form is quite easy. It's a 5 minute thing. But when he distributed this, when he came to my home with the milk, he praised my friend quite a lot. Now, then you can understand how much of an adoption that technology has made a difference to that person's business, right, day-to-day business. We know that some of the large organizations didn't even do that in the current crisis, right? They couldn't even set up a Google online form just to collect what the customers want. So this is the second level of tech adoption that can be there. Right? Jeremy, if you go to the next slide. So this is nothing real life, but I have just modeled it out to say that other than that external adoption, if you integrate it with your current business model, right? Say for an example, where Udara spoke of banks quite a lot. So I'll take an example of a bank now. Let's say I have a banking app, right? There I would request a loan, right? I need a half a million loan, and I would request that loan through the app. Right now, obviously, my professional data, all the information is there with the bank, so they don't need to have any other information. So with that request, if the internal banking infrastructure is connected up with that bank, once the workflow goes through their approval chain, hopefully digitized, right? And once it is approved, the bank should be able to make that loan available, and that money is released to the market, right? So if that level of integration is there, that means the organization has technologically adapted into the business model as well. Again, I will take the case of a bank. Now, if one bank is capable of doing that, another bank can't even open an additional account for me without me visiting the bank. That means that their technology adoption is just the first two steps only, because they actually want their rest of the workflow is not digitized, so they want us to visit the bank. So, as folks in the tech industry, we would need to look at how, take examples of how our industry has adapted software into our workflows and help organization and institutions to go take that last mile also. So, I think in the webinar today, we'll have more conversations regarding this. So, I'm going to use this basic way of looking at it, how a tech adoption is happening in organizations, to proceed with anything else that is going to come by in the conversations going forward. So that's about it from me, Jeremy. You can move on.